All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our Monday Zoom and Learn. My name is Tommy Dutcher. I am the area sales manager here in Riverside County with California Title Company. And my co-host is Mary Jane Morris. And you want to introduce yourself, MJ?
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Your team.
Good Monday. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Happy to be with you. Happy to see you all. Today we're going to, well, first let me give my shout out to my team. Tracy down in San Diego.
Hi.
Want to say hi, Miss Tracy?
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
She is an outstanding sales representative in our San Diego office.
Thank you.
So, today we're going to be talking about my favorite title tool, Title Advantage. It took me years to make the jump from calling customer service and the way they had us all programmed for years to jumping onto the title tools. Frankly, I didn't trust them. I got to be honest. I just didn't feel they were the same as communicating with a human, but I am so impressed with this product and I'm a full convert now. And Tommy has I'm able to pull grant deeds on the fly in the weekend. When somebody tells me they think they deeded this way or that way, I'm able to take a peek very easily. I am excited to have Tommy talk about this product. Tommy, you want to tell us what's new with Title Advantage?
Yes, it has been almost a year since we went over Title Advantage on our Zoom and Learn, so we figured it was time to circle back to it. As things are gradually shifting, I'm getting more and more calls on the weekends in regards to needing a profile, a deed, a tax sheet, etc., which is fine. What I don't want to happen is me not be available for when you need something and then you sit in limbo. And so that's where this system will definitely play a part for you, is so that you are able to pull stuff on the go when I may not be available, which isn't too often, but it does happen. And usually when you call for something, especially on the weekend, you may be with a client or what have you, or getting ready to meet a client, you don't want to wait if for whatever reason I may not answer my phone and get back to you for 30 minutes and you may just need something quick. I'm going to show you how you can pull a lot of things straight from my system. So there are a couple things before we get started. Is you access my system, and I put it in the chat, but I will put it out here just in case. You access my system by going to my site, which is tommyfortitle.com. And that's TOMMY, the number 4, title.com. Okay. You land on my page. A lot of you have access to my system already. If you don't, and you would like access to it, you can, in the bottom left-hand corner, click on sign up, select me, and I will approve you to get access to it. It is free to you to use, okay? And then our mobile app, which would be the same login, is what you use to log into the online site. Our mobile app is CTC for California Title Company, mobile, M-O-B-I-L-E. Okay, so if you search that, CTC mobile in your app store, and I'm putting that into the chat now, you will find our California Title Company, the logo. Let me show you what that looks like real quick. I can change my background to the one that MJ made for me that I should have put on today, but there it goes. So you'll see my logo up there. It's basically the symbol of the California state with a circle around it. You'll see that in the App Store. You can download that. It's the same login, and you can do everything from your mobile device that you can do from the computer, okay? I want to emphasize that. You can do everything from your mobile device that you can do from your computer, and they interact simultaneously. So if you were to pull something on your computer, it would be available on your mobile device and vice versa, instantly, okay? So with that said, I am going to share my screen and we're going to get started jumping into this. I'm not going to give you 100% walkthrough of my system. I've done that before, and there is videos that we have that I can send to you that I've done in the past, but I am going to give you a pretty good overview of what you will use the most, okay? And that way we'll be able to get through this in 45 minutes or so. So when you log on to TommyForTitle.com, it takes you to my homepage here, and down in the bottom left here is where you are going to either sign up or log into your system. Okay, if you know that I've set you up or you set yourself up and you forget your credentials, reach out to me and I can send those to you or update them. Okay. So once you have access, you'll log in. Now, I want to reiterate that what I'm showing you online here, it looks almost identical on your mobile device, meaning these 5 tiles up here are the same on your mobile device. Okay. So we make it pretty easy for you to be able to navigate both ends, either mobile or online, by making it pretty much identical. And then the other thing that I want to share is this is a proprietary system. So this is built in-house. This is not like most title companies are using like Title Pro, and it's just rebranded to their company, right? So at the previous company that I was at, it was Title Pro, but it was called something else that we branded to our company. The difference is the system is what it is with Title Pro, and they don't update it as often, and it doesn't allow you to do certain things, and we don't have any control of it. Where with our system, we meet every 2 weeks with our head of development that developed this, who's been with the company 20 plus years, and we give ideas and he looks at it and says, yeah, I think we can do that. And then it gets changed fairly quickly. So if you have any ideas that come about, you can definitely pass them my way, and we do share them, right? So with that said, the very first thing that you would probably do as an agent or a TC or a broker or a lender is pull property information, and that is going to be in the property tab, okay? So I just want to show you real quick. It will store the last 15 or 20 properties that you pull, and it kind of tells you, the property, the APN number, and then what you ended up pulling. This was a full profile FP. This was a quick profile, etc. And you can very easily go back and access those. And that is stored in my properties in your mobile device once you go to properties. But I just want to go in and show you from start to finish how to pull up property information, how to pull up that deed, how to pull up a tax sheet. And then I'm going to show you some new stuff that the system now can do. So you can search by address, APN number, owner's name, or search by map. You're probably not going to do the map too often. You may do the owner's name sometimes if you're trying to locate past owner or something like that. You'll have to search, it's search by county. But it will probably be by address or APN number. So as far as address, you will just plug in the actual street and the zip code or the county it's in, either or, okay? And then you'll search it, it'll bring back the property, and you'll click on it to access it. Then it gives you 5 options. Create a property profile, just search property history. Now, property history for those TCs or those agents that are just trying to figure, okay, who's on title? I don't need all the property information. I just want to make sure somebody's on title. I want to search that deed. I want to search when the last loan was, etc. Property history is what you'll be pulling right there. You can do net sheets. I know that all your escrow officers will do these net sheets for you. If you can't get to it or they can't, I can. But it is a very easy net sheet to access, to be able to do it on your own. If you don't know all the parameters that you think you're looking for, and you want to sit there and go, yeah, I just want to see kind of what my clients could clear, or what my clients have to come in with on the buy side based on different sales prices, then feel free. It's an extremely easy net sheet to utilize.
This is a very robust net sheet as well. They have dumbed down the one on the CRMLS so bad that it doesn't prorate taxes or figure out. This is a very good net sheet. If you're comfortable doing net sheets at all on your own and we're not doing them for you, it's an outstanding net sheet.
Yes. As far as the open orders, you're not going to really use that. Sometimes the escrow officers do, and that's fine. It comes through to myself and my team. And then the property tax report right here, you'll use that and the property profile more than anything. Okay, and that's what I want to kind of cover off on today, is exactly that. Okay, so let me move this out the way. Okay, a full profile. You have the option, a quick profile and a full profile. A quick profile is just going to give you the profile page. It's going to tell you who the owner's names are that are on title. Now, again, the only time that changes, because I get this question a lot, sometimes on the profile page, it has a different owner than if then what is theoretically their client's name. If there was a quit claim or anything done that was an uninsured document, it didn't go through a title company, it will not change on the profile page, okay? So the other thing is the profile page with county only changes once the tax records change, which only happens once a year. So don't go by the profile page as far as like, okay, who's on title, right? Always look at the last deed recorded. Does that make sense? So for this case, we'll pull a full profile real quick here. You can unselect anything you don't want and then just continue and pull it up, okay? So when it comes up, you have a ledger down the left-hand side. In your mobile device, you have a little menu bar in the bottom corner. And you can click on any of these and just automatically navigate to that section, or you can scroll through it the whole way. This would be just the profile page right here. So if you did a quick profile, this is the only page that you're going to get, which has all your property info, things like that. Obviously has almost everything that you need to input your data into the MLS, right? But it's not going to give you all the other data. And then as you scroll down, you'll have comparable sales. So it's going to give you, we try and get it to at least 15 comparable sales. Sometimes we may not be able to pull 15 because we start at a 1 mile radius. If we can't find it in a 1 mile radius, we'll expand it a half a mile, but we won't go past 3 miles. So if you get less than 15 or 20 comp sales, it's because there wasn't that amount of sales in the last 6 months within a 3 mile radius, okay? And then it gets plotted on a map for you so you can see where they're at. And we do put it in the order of closest to the property out. So as you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, closest to the property, and it expands outward. Gives you a high, low, and medium. It'll give you the closest 25 neighbors, okay? So if you want to send something, hey, just list it. Here's your closest 25 neighbors right here. It will give you an overhead if it's available. Sometimes they're not. It pulls from Google right there. But it will give you the overhead map there and an aerial and a street view, okay? Now, the plot map that it gives you there is not as viewable on screen, but there's a button that says click here for high PDF or high def. You click on that, it'll bring up one that's totally clear for you. Then it goes into property history, and this will be most recent back, okay? So you see in this one here, this was a release of a mortgage because there was a refinance that was done. So then that was the release. Now, all of these documents, as you see right here, are viewable. So if you want to pull up the last deed, etc., or the last trust deed, etc., you could just by clicking on that document, and it will then pull up. So this was the last deed right here. You could pull that document up by clicking on it. Takes a couple seconds. It will pull up. I don't want to because then I have to backtrack back into the system for you. But you can view all of your documents even from your mobile device, and you can email them right out to yourself or what have you. Okay. So that is a property profile. Then the other thing that I want to show you is a tax sheet. Okay. So as you're in the property, you can click on tax sheet down here. This is the biggest thing that ours does that a lot doesn't. It asks you for the purchase price. Okay, it is optional, but I suggest you put it in and then create the tax sheet. Okay, now it will do a couple things. It'll bring your tax sheet back. And MJ, could you watch the chat just to make sure there's nothing there? But it brings back your tax sheet, right? So you have the property address up here. You'll have the tax agency, the current tax amount. And as you scroll down, it'll give you the breakdown, whether or not it was paid or if it was open, okay? And then this section right here gives you the estimated new tax information. So based on the sales price that I put in right here, $523,000, the new tax amount on this property is $6,556 and some change. That total includes all of the special assessments down here, okay? So your basic tax levy is Prop 13. That's the 1.113% tax rate. And then everything below that are the special assessments against that property. As you see on this one, it's a very low tax area. It just has some sewer, some county service areas, park maintenance, things like that. But it'll give you all of the assessments listed here. If there was a Melrose or a CFD, it would be highlighted in red in this section. So it stands out, okay? But just know that this total tax amount up here includes all assessments, and this gives you your new tax rate based on the new sales price, okay? So much easier to view this and go through on this tax sheet than it is, you know, even in Realist, because Realist doesn't do that calculation for you. You're stuck doing it yourself, okay? Then you have the options up here to email it to you, to yourself or to anybody else, print it, save it as a PDF, and then or close. Now, I recommend if you are going to email it out, save it as a PDF first, and then attach it to your email. If you just email it straight from my system, it will email with a link in the body of the email. And they have to click on that link to access this report, okay? So it's much nicer if you download it as a PDF and then send it as an attachment. All right, so that takes care of the property tax report. Let me go back here. The other thing is the next tab over here on the left is farms. So you can dabble and pull up a farm yourself. I can help you, walk you through a farm and do it for you. Either way, you can establish a Polygon area. That would be basically you establishing parameters, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You can establish a walking farm. I recommend you do that from your cell phone, and you can do it right when you're ready to walk. Just drive to the neighborhood, open it up on the app. It'll pinpoint where you're at. Click on walking farm, circle the area in which you want to walk, and it'll pull up a walking farm, tell you to go in order, okay? It'll save your farms. And then we also go one step further from your typical farm, and that's called Farm Focus. And I'm going to show you what a Farm Focus is versus a regular farm here in a second, okay? But I want to show you how easy it is to create a quick farm. So if you click on Polygon area, and one thing we are doing right now, we're in development to do a radius search around an address. okay? So we just switched our data vendors to be able to pull data. So we're gonna be updating our system to do a radius search around an address. So we get asked that a lot. You know, can you just pull, you know, a half-a-mile radius around an address I just sold or something like that? We will have that function ready to go here shortly. But for right now, you'll basically go in here and decide where you want to be. Now you can pull in a certain address. And it'll pinpoint that address, okay? You can zoom in on it. And let's say I just wanted to farm this exact neighborhood right here. You would do that by draw a polygon. And you do it by simply clicking with your mouse and dragging it and then clicking another point. And you'll see it creates an outer perimeter drawing around this. And then I come back to my starting point and I'll highlight my area, okay? And I can right here get count at any time. It'll tell me how many houses are in there. So there's 101 houses in that section I just did. It tells me the turnover rate is almost 6%. Owner occupancy is 82%. So I can, you know, name this and I can create that farm, right? And I'm doing this real quick just to show you what farm focus is, because you'll create a farm first and then you can narrow that farm down however you want. One thing our system does do for you is, now that I have that farm updated right here, this is the farm that I just did, this farm will update ongoing by itself. I never have to go back in and pull the exact same farm again a month later, 2 months, 5 months. As things close in county records or change hands in county records or somebody refis in county records, this will update, okay? So if a house closes today, it takes about 14 days for it to show up in county records. At that point, my farm would update automatically. So all I have to do is log into my farm and just download my CSV file, and I can attach that anywhere that I'm doing marketing, okay? So once you establish the farm, if you click on it and open it up, it gives you many options over here. So you get a second to populate, but it'll tell you over here the owner occupancy rate, the turnover rate. It tells you the average price point, the average years owned. Now this is just specific to the exact area in which I selected. You can do numerous things. You can view it in a list, view it on a map. You can export it into a PDF, a CSV file, etc. You can share it. You can look at the turnover history. So right now we give you a 12-month turnover history. But if you want to know what 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years looks like, you can click on turnover history and that'll tell you. If I want to know what a market snapshot looks like just in those 101 homes, I can click on this and I'm going to show you that next. But if I want to narrow this farm down from 101 records down to maybe like the most likely to sell, I can do that in Farm Focus. So I click on Farm Focus, allow that to pop up, and then create a Farm Focus based on that farm that I just established. Then it gives you much more parameters over on the right-hand side here to do what you want. Now, when you see it in the map here, the little circle with kind of the person in it, that's owner occupied. The blank circle, that's a non-owner occupied house. So as you look at this map, say I just want owner occupied, I can select that real quick and it'll gray out all my non-owner occupieds. I could look at it and say, I want both, and I want to filter it down to most likely to sell. Now, it automatically defaults to 10, meaning 10 properties most likely to sell in this particular farm. Or I could take it as high as 100 or custom. But let's say I want the top 25 out of 100 that are most likely to sell. What it's going to do is it is going to take numerous things into account. And as we get closer to the end of the year, we will have some AI technology kicking in within the system as well. So right now it takes in numerous things. Right now we know that the average year owned is 11 in the area. We also know that we look at county records to know who has, you know, done a transaction on their property recently, meaning i.e. they just bought it, it just closed in the last couple of years, they did a refinance in the last, you know, 6 months to a year, et cetera. We take that kind of stuff out and we look at the trends within this particular farm, okay? And then our system looks at it and says, based on just these houses, we feel these are the 25 houses that are most likely to potentially sell in this exact area, okay? And then you can save that, and you can narrow it down in different ways. I only want a house with a pool, et cetera, all that kind of stuff. How many stories, how many bathrooms, you know, bedrooms, bathrooms, et cetera. But for this, I just want, you know, out of my 101 farm, I just want the top 25, and then I'll name it down here, okay? So I'll name this one Paseo Farm 2 Farm Focus. So I had named the original farm Paseo Farm 2, and I'm just going to name it the same, but Farm Focus. That way I know they both link, and I will create that. Now, it saves as a completely separate farm. So you'll see here in my Farm Focus, I have one now, it's just 25 houses, okay? And let me see real quick. Yes, Janet, I'll answer that question here in a minute. So it saves that as a separate farm. Now I can go back and open that at any time, and it's always going to be there, and it's always going to update itself for me, okay? And if I want to go back to that and I want to download the CSV file, which is an Excel file, I'll show you how to do that. Just got to let it load real quick. So I can go in here and export it. It says it's exporting. It gives me options. CSV file, which is an Excel file. I can export it to Creative Edge. That is a company that does do marketing stuff. I'll be honest, you could probably find stuff a little bit cheaper than that as well. It is convenient though. I can, a 5-line PDF. The most common Avery labels, and don't worry about you printing labels. If you send me the CSV file, I'll print the labels, send them directly to your house. So you can do a label format. You're mainly going to do this Excel format right here. And you just click on that and it'll download as a CSV. You can save it to your computer, can attach it anywhere you need to, okay? So as I go back to my farms, you'll see that they'll both be there, and they'll store in your farms menu, and they'll always be there updated for you, meaning as updated as county records is. So I have my original farm, 101. If I scroll down to my farm focus area here, I have my new farm for 25 houses right here, okay? So I wanted to show you that because that's a big one. You can narrow it down in any particular area that you want. Now, there was a question in the chat that said, it says I'm low on credits. Yes, my system establishes credits. So when you go in and pull a farm, each house or each farm is considered a certain amount of credits, right? I would recommend that you don't pull a farm of, 2,000 homes. One, you'll never work through that data fast enough for it to be updated. But if you narrow it down into smaller sections of like 200 to 500 homes, that's probably your best bet to be able to physically work through them. Now, my system, I give each of you credits. The credits allow you to pull farms, pull profiles, pull tax sheets, etc. And I typically give everybody enough credits where you're not going to run out. But if you were sitting there pulling a whole bunch of data and living within the system, you could run out of credits. And if you do, you just got to text me and I'll increase the credits for you, right? It's a built-in thing within our system, mainly because we offer this for free. I offer it as value because I want to do title business with you, right? I hope that if I offer you value that helps you grow your business, in turn, I get business from you. And if somebody's using a lot of credits, which theoretically I pay for those credits, they're free to you, but I pay for them, okay? And if I'm paying for a lot of credits for months on end, but I'm not doing any business with you, you'll probably run out of credits pretty quick. Okay, so, I offer a lot of stuff within this system that you cannot find anywhere else. And, it's valuable. So I will, you know, increase your credits if you reach out to me. Okay. Okay. The next thing I want to show you, one of the last things I want to show you is we do have some other things down here, more tools. Okay. So document toolbox. I get called probably once every couple days or emailed asking for a blank quit claim or a blank deed because a client wants to, you know, add somebody or remove somebody from title, etc. And that's a whole different thing that we can have a discussion on later of the right ways of doing stuff. But nevertheless, I get these calls all the time. So in document toolbox here, you will be able to access those on the go. And we break it down by area. So, I mean, literally, if you want to, you know, go in here, you can just search, you know, deeds, etc., and find it there. Okay. The other thing is live map. Live map, we try and update them as we go as reps. So they're not everywhere, but I'll show you what those are in a minute. Farm Pro is if you want to purchase, and this leaves our system and goes into our data source. If you want to purchase leads, meaning you want emails and phone numbers, or you want, you know, I want mortgage leads of somebody who is above 4.5%, or I want people that are in default, things like that. You can do that in Farm Pro. If you are a land developer or you sell land, you may want to look at the property line map. That'll outline the property around your, or outline the parcel for you, so you can kind of get a feel for where it's at. Your real estate documents, I apologize. Document toolbox up here is just a whole bunch of stuff different for each county. Real estate documents down here is where you're going to find all your affidavits and stuff. So quit claim deed, you saw right there. I can just click on that. It'll pull up a quit claim. If I just want a grant deed, I can search grant deed. I can just click on that, pull up a blank grant deed. They can fill them out right in the deed itself and print it, and it's emailable, etc. Okay. And then this new one that we have here is Market Snapshot. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about, hey, you guys have something that, you know, I could repost, or, you know, I can get data real quick because I don't like the format of what I can pull on the MLS. And a whole bunch of questions come in for, you know, just market data. So we reached out to our developer and said, hey, they're asking for this. So he came back with our Market Snapshot. And here's kind of what it looks like over here. Okay. And you can pull it from a live map, which I haven't showed you live maps yet. Live map is basically done by community. So let's say you're in Temecula and Paseo del Sol. That would be one community that you could pull by itself within live map, or Morgan Hill, et cetera, as a whole. A new report from a custom Polygon. So very similar to what I did with the farm, where I outlined what I wanted. You could do that and then pull a market snapshot just on that area. You can do it from zip code, or you can do it from a current farm that you're in, right? So I'll show you that as well, but I want to do zip code first. You click on a zip code and just enter a zip code here, 92590. And I just want single family residence, say I can create that. And it'll come back with a market snapshot. Now the market snapshot is interactable, okay? Meaning you can move stuff around, you can zoom in on the map, etc. As you scroll down, it gives you a year snapshot here. So if I go back to April of 2020 through June of 2020, I can hover over it and it will tell me the low, average, and high for that zip code. It'll also tell me how many, you know, homes sold, etc., and what the average price point is. And it'll do that for each quarter all the way up to the current quarter in which we're in. It'll give you your average price per square foot over here. So from 419.20 through 419.21, It'll give you your average price for the 92590 zip code. It'll tell you how many sales were there. It will tell you the price per square foot, the average price per square foot, etc. So it breaks it down for you, and then it gives you your zip code turn ratio, right? So it gives you kind of data that you can share. Now up here, I can print this, I can email it out, I can save it as a PDF, or I could copy the URL. You copy the URL, you can paste it anywhere you want. If you don't want this box here, you can close that box out. But it's very interactive, right? So if I go back to that farm that we did a minute ago, and that 101 houses just in that little pocket of Paseo del Sol right here, I can open that farm up and you'll see right here, Market Snapshot, okay? And that's just gonna give me a market snapshot for that exact parameter of that farm just within that 101 houses. So you see here, it highlights my farm, right? It's just what, 4 blocks. And then it will give me the breakdown here and tell me what the average, the high and the low have been ongoing throughout that farm, okay? The average price per square foot, how many sales. So in that 101 homes in the last year, we've had 5 sale on 4 blocks that I circled there, right? And I know that, I personally know that in those blocks, they range from 1,900 square feet to 3,200 square feet, from 3 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms. And so that kind of gives me a little average just on that little snapshot, okay? So again, you can customize this a little bit yourself, but we've put it pretty much easy to pull from a farm, from a Polygon, from a zip code, etc. And a lot of people seem to like it because it is fairly interactive. And this will continuously update itself as well. So if I've already pulled this, I can go back and just pull it again and or snap on it again, and it's going to be updated 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. Okay. Now, if you copy the URL and you paste it somewhere, it will not. It's only going to be what is on this current one right now. If they were to reopen that link 3 weeks from now and there was a sale, it wouldn't be. But everything within the system itself, if you re-click on it, it is updated ongoing, okay? All right. I think that's all I wanted to cover for today. I wanted to leave some time to answer any questions that people may have. But I'll go ahead and open it up. You all are free to try and unmute yourself, or you can ask in the chat. But again, I will tell you that Tommy for Title, TOMMY, the number 4, TITLE.com is where you can register, or where you access this if you're already registered. You can get all my information there if you need to reach out to me as well. And I do these one-on-one trainings on these. If you have, different farms that you want me to walk you through so that you'll have them saved within your system, I'm more than willing to do that. And, if you can't find something that you're trying to do within my system, reach out to me, because more than likely we can find a way to get it done. All right. But I'll go ahead and I think I want to stop there. Yeah. Let's stop there and just check.
Tommy, can we do the forms type live? I can live type on them.
Yeah, let me show you that real quick, because I do get asked that a lot. So if you go into more tools, everybody seeing the screen?
Yep.
All right, more tools, real estate documents down here. Let's do quick claim. You can download it right here or view it, either or. It's in a Word format, so then you open it in Word. MJ, let me know if you're seeing Word open right now.
Let's see, trying.
Did it open?
No.
Okay, so hold on. Sometimes it doesn't want to do it when you go into a different window. So let me stop sharing and share again.
There it
Okay,
is.
see it now?
Yep.
So it opens like this, and up at the top, if yours is like mine, you'll want to click on Enable Editing,
Yep. Yep.
right? Then once you do that, yes, all these boxes that are grayed, you can click into and type away, okay?
No, we talk about quick claims and grant deeds most often, but really the doc I'd really love the public to get more comfortable with is the special power of attorney.
Yeah.
You really have more use for that on a regular basis. For those of you who don't know, power of attorneys come in many varieties.
Yes.
And some are good for the bank, and some are good for your trust, and some are good for medical purposes. Some try to cover all of that, but aren't necessarily accepted by one or the other person that we just discussed. For real estate, a special power of attorney or power of attorney, comma, or hyphen special, has 3 to 5 important words that the title company is looking for. I never remember them anymore. We used to know them. I know one of them is hypothecate. That's the only one I can ever remember, but this would be a good place to draw power of attorneys or to let me know you need one and I can bang it out for you real quick, especially if your client is still in town and about to leave town and you get that news suddenly. With the granted escrows mobile services and Tommy's ability to draw docs directly from the website, you should be able to get a power of attorney in your hand. One we know the title company is going to accept. And that is special to real estate, meaning this is not for banking and that sort of thing. So I would use it for power of attorneys most often.
Yeah, I mean, I get asked a lot for quick claims. I get asked a lot for just a regular, deed. Every now and then I get asked for a deed of trust. I mean, somebody's maybe going to carry back or something like that. They want to fill out a deed of trust to have recorded, etc. But I mean, those are probably the most common. But affidavits, all your affidavits are located in there as well, and things like that. So you can access them, look through them. And like I said, you can just search what you're looking for. If you know the name of the document, you can search for it and it'll just pop up. Daryl, to answer your question, Daryl asked, is there a way to expand the radius search if we have a 3+ acre parcel? Yes, you can. As well, you can expand that in your farm search. You can say you just wanted to search all of Temecula as a city for only parcels that are 3+ acres. And there's a spot in there in Farm Focus. You would build the farm, save it, then you would go into Farm Focus, and in Farm Focus, there is a section that gives you a minimum lot size and a maximum lot size, and you can plug that in there, and then will only pull back what you want. Hopefully that answers your question. And then let's see, another question was asked, how do you search distressed properties, foreclosures, etc.? I'm going to save that for a whole different training, but reach out to me direct. Yes, we can search those. So reach out to me direct and I'll work with you one-on-one for distress stuff. Just because that would open up another 30-minute conversation, which I don't want to prolong this, further. But yes, I can direct you on how to pull that data. Not a problem. Let me just make sure nothing else was in the chat. Okay, that's all I see in the chat. If anybody has questions, by all means ask. Again, I'm not putting this out there to replace me, right? I'm putting it out there to where if you're on the go and you need an immediate response, I can literally in 5 clicks on my mobile device pull up a property and access any data that I want to know about that property, including a tax sheet, a deed, etc., in about 5 clicks. So if you're just looking for something particular and you're like, I want the answer now because I have a client in front of me, I'll tell you what, you don't look like you have your stuff buttoned up more so than being able to pull out your phone and answer a question like that. Like they think you have the data at your fingertips. I mean, how many times have you sat in front of a seller and asked a question? Do you know how, what the remaining balance is on your loan? Oh, I don't know. Do you have a mortgage statement? No, everything's done online. I would have to log online. Do you remember when your mortgage was done? No. Well, you can pull that up. You can pull it up. You can find out exactly when that mortgage was issued and how much it was issued for. And that would give you a pretty good idea of around where that payoff is. So, I mean, you have data. If it's in county records, you have it at your fingertips through my system, right? Again, I'm not saying is you have to access it through my system without calling me. I'm saying is if you don't need it right away, meaning 30 minutes or less, then send it to me. You'll have it probably within 30 minutes or less, Monday through Friday. The weekend, you may have it within an hour, right? But if you need it right away and it's after hours or it's on the weekend and you just want to pull it yourself, that's what the system's for, right? But there's so much more that this system can do that I didn't go through today. There's just not enough time to put it all into one session. But I wanted to give you a touch point on the ones that you use the most. And I think the profiles, the tax sheets, the farming is what you will use the most, right? And so hopefully that gave you a pretty good understanding. I can look at some of you that are on here. Most of you have access to it. And if you don't know how to access it, just send me a text message. We'll get on the phone today and I'll make sure you have your login credentials. Yeah, if there's no further questions, I'm pretty much complete. So everybody has the opportunity to unmute. If you want to ask questions, by all means, I'm going to stay on until the last person drops off. So if you want to stay on and ask me, we can do that. But at this point, I will thank everybody for their time on this Monday, and we will see you next week, same time, same place.